Divine rising, everybody. Hey, 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 fam, fam, fam. Let me see. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Let me go live over here. Because we're going live, all right? Divine rising. Everybody come on in. If y'all saw the pre event, and I know I just did it this morning. I be trying to do this stuff ahead of time, but yesterday I was out of town in New Mexico and I was tired getting back. So, and then I had all the grand people, all five of them, they were all here. And I was tired. I was tired. Me and the baby, we went to sleep. But in any event, before we get into this amazing share, because I'm going to be sharing my screen with our director spotlight. So I just wanted to say this. What you're about to witness is proof that this system works, and is duplicatable, and proof that everyday people can become legacy leaders when they decide to run, right? And that isn't a hype session. It's transferring transfer of posture and possibility. So the thing is, so whatever you're curious, committed, or coming back, because I didn't share this before, coming back for your next level, lean in. You just might, just hear your story told through someone else's spotlight. And so, um, but I just wanted to get on here and say it. But hi, if you are watching this live, let me know in the comments. So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm streaming to Instagram, YouTube, and my Facebook profile. So it's going to be we got about 15 minutes. But in the midst of that, how's everybody week went? If you are watching, drop in the comments. What win did you have this week? Did you have any wins? And just share. Like I said, this is kind of open up until I share my screen for our director spotlight. I'm so excited about this. This is this is just, for me, is belief that anyone can do this. I mean, the backgrounds from these individuals, I don't know who the individuals are, but I tell you what, I'm pretty excited to see who they are. These are partners from, I mean, everywhere. We have partners in the UK, we have partners in Ireland, we have partners that came from Bangladesh. They were immigrants that are winning in this business. And so it's really exciting. I mean, we have partners all across the United States. Our biggest um, where we're number one in Texas, because that's where I am. We're number one in Texas. Then we have, I believe, runner up is Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta, and well, just let me say Georgia, Georgia, and then over in California, we are actually, I don't know if we're still calling it the Gold Rush, but yes, we are kicking it big in all these areas. And who knows, your city may be on the map, or your state may be on the map. But anyway, like I said, I'm excited. We're going to get started here in the next almost 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and hit my button to go ahead and get myself on here, because I know they are probably going to be streaming here in just a moment. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and join. I don't know. I think they bring us up a little bit early. If not, oh well. Yeah. So yeah, we're on. We're on. But like I said, I'm not gonna put it on just yet. And I know I am probably. I might need to stop. Yeah, because it's like moving a little slow. Okay, I think we're good. All right, but anyway, so I will share my screen here in just a minute. I'll just bring it on stage. But if you're watching, let me know where you're tuning in from. Like I said, your state may be on this spotlight on today. I don't know who our amazing directors are, but I'm excited to find out here in just a minute, just as well as you are. Like I said, let me know where you're tuning in from. And let me know if you're tuning in live or you are watching this on the replay. Now, I know Facebook takes our stuff down after 30 days, but lucky for me, I am actually going to be able to record this and download it later and just share little clips. And let me see, make sure that I am live on my Facebook. And then also I want to share some. Share, yes. Can my belts go sit in your room? No, they cannot. No, no, sir. No, sir. You can sit them in the room over there. But anyway, if you are watching this and if you would share with someone that may be curious. Yeah, there I am. There I am. And so I'm going to go ahead and share this to my stories. Share to the stories here. Share, share, share. All right. Sharing in some groups. Uh-oh. I get a little special when it comes up. Here we go. There we go. Okay, we are popping off. The chat's over here. All right, all right. Let me see if I can get this up. Okay, definitely here. Here. I think I just share in areas that are actually going to let me share. Most definitely here. You are tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And in about 8 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you're watching, let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you want to just let some people know, just share. Be sure to drop in your feedback, whatever you feel like you want to say, as long as it's good, because we don't do negative. We don't do that low budget energy. I don't do low budget energy. Anyway, I don't. And if you're low budget, just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Keep going. You are joining me. I'm gonna share my y'all got family pages. I'm gonna share my family page. How about that? But yeah, so I did say earlier this week that I would go live again, right? And here I am. I'm going live again. Going live again. Let's see. I'm trying to find where did I? Oh, here. Nope, I did do there. And did I do my own location? Did I? I don't think I did. I did there. We're about to pop off here in a minute. If you are tuning in live with me, go ahead and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm excited about this. Hey, Promd, I guess that's what your name is, over here on my Instagram. Thanks for joining for a hot second anyway. So no matter what platform you are on, let me know where you're tuning in from. And I will be sharing my screen here in just a little bit. As soon as we get started over here. I'm sure within the next few minutes, Mr. Vanzel will be coming online and we are going to tap in. You feel me? I don't know if they want me, but they'll kick me out if I'm not. Trying to find my, oh, here we go. This one I'm looking for right here. All right. So divine rising again to you. If you are now tapping in with me, I will be sharing my screen and I'm excited about, this is one day of the month I'm really, truly excited about because I get to see and hear from our directors that just became directors, and we get to learn what they did to get to the ranks they are in, the systems, the duplications, all those great things to get them to where they are right now. Because every last director that you will see on today, they have uh, let me see what the word I'm saying. They actually have legacies. They have built legacies. So if anything happens to them, their children, grandchildren, and the generation after them will definitely be taken care of. And that's one thing I love about, this business. I'm not going to call it opportunity. It's actually a business, a lucrative business. And like I said, I don't say too much about it, but today you're gonna see some of our directors in the next 30 minutes. So, like I said, I'm pretty excited to be sharing. And those of you, like I said, if you're going to be watching on the replay, let me know that you're on the replay. And don't forget to let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you found value in what has been shown, do by all means share this. And if there is anyone that you know that is looking to generate any extra income, by all means, point them my direction. I mean, because it may be you or anyone that you know that would like to make an additional income from your phone. Just you can send me a DM, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to share this information with you. But like I said, we got 2 minutes, and so I'm gonna go ahead and pop on the stage here in a minute. Let's see. Well, I'll actually wait until they actually pop up for me here. I'm gonna do that. Like I said, if you're watching, let me know where you're tuning in from. I should get something on my screen over here, but nothing's showing up. Said y'all don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let me know. Let me know. Mhm. All right. All right. We should be kicking this off at the top of the hour in 1 minute. I just got an invitation. I would definitely do that. All right. So anyway, okay, it is now 8 a.m. and I'm going to bring on stage now. All right. Let me remove myself.
Welcome to the Plannet Marketing Director Spotlight. Today, we're going to shine a spotlight on some superstar directors. My name is Dwayne Vansel. I'm Chief Brand Officer with your corporate office, Plannet Marketing. The Director Spotlight now it's to provide you powerful stories of people just like you who overcome incredible obstacles and are having an amazing impact. We're confident these stories are going to inspire you and also give you some insights on how you too can achieve your dreams. We have a power pack lineup for you today, but we're going to start with a gentleman who has over 2 decades of experience marketing, product sales, distribution, achieved top ranking positions in the network marketing industry, being numbered among millionaire earners for a couple of decades, all while helping people just like you reach their financial goals. He's a military veteran, husband, father. He's the founder and CEO of Plannet Marketing. His name is Mr. Donald Bradley. Mr. Bradley, good to see you today, sir.
So excited to see you, too, Mr. Dwayne Vansel, who, as you mentioned, is Chief Branding Officer of our company, has 20 years of marketing experience at the highest level. Father, how you doing this morning, Mr. Vansel?
Favorite day of the month. Hanging out with you, thousands of people across the planet, as well as the 5 folks that we have a chance to talk to today.
Awesome. Let's get it
Yes,
unpacked.
sir. All right. Well, first up, we have 1-star director from the great state of Maryland, Carly Westmoreland, who achieved directorship on September the 27th, 2025. Carly, we're honored to have you on today's Director Spotlight.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, there I am. Hello. Good morning. I'm actually coming in from Augusta, Georgia right now. It's nice to be down here. My husband's playing military softball here in Augusta, so I'm in our home away on Thursday. And I'm so excited to be on this call today. I am just, another year older, another year wiser. My birthday was yesterday, so I'm like, yes, I am ready. I am ready.
So Miss Westmoreland, tell us, first of all, I know you're in Augusta, but where do you live? And tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yes, so my name is Carly Westmoreland. I live in Maryland. I just live in between Baltimore and Annapolis. I am my husband's retired military, so that's just a little nugget. But I was a home care therapist. So I was a traveling therapist. Like a lot of people, just needed something. I needed something that was for me. I was tired of being in the shadow of other people. And so it was time for me to find who Carly is, not, the military spouse, not the healthcare worker, not the mother. My kids are, they're adult children. So I just really needed my purpose. And this opportunity came to me. And honestly, I pushed it away for 4 months. And that's why I tell my team the power of follow-up, because I was presented with this opportunity 4 months before I even said yes. I pushed it away. And then finally, my boss would not allow me to go travel. And she's like, we're not traveling. I said, you don't understand. I'm not asking you. I'm just letting you know I'm not going to be here. My husband's retired military. We have to travel for his mindset. He does work contract for the government. So those people that are understand that role, it's very important to have an outlet. And so my husband and I, we kind of talked. We said, God has a plan for us. So if your job does not value your worth, then it's time to go, figure something out. And so I did. I handed in my resignation with no plans. I was like, God's got a plan here. Let's just go. We're going to pray about it and we're going to figure it out. And ended up going on that vacation. On the vacation, it was a Christmas time, and we talked about this opportunity that I kept on saying no, because I have done network marketing before. I have done other things, and just wasn't. I was like, it just didn't. No, it wasn't there. So my husband and I, we said, you know what, give it a try, because what Plannet has available for us is unlike anything else. The other companies that I was a part of, they didn't yeah, they gave me a 30-day, but the whole year, to give this a year, and not only to give this opportunity a year, but the support that I felt from day one was like, I didn't get that from my job that I was in, And so I just jumped in. I jumped in January 3rd with, I had no clue. I had no clue. Honestly, my husband's the one that did all of our vacations. I didn't even know. I was the passenger princess. I was like, what clothes do I pack? Are we going cold, warm, whatever? But I was like, you know what? It is what it is. So I and my upline and I was like, okay, we can do this. Like, oh, this is kind of fun. I'm sharing this opportunity with other people, because in the grand scheme of thing, I didn't join for the financial gains at first. First, I didn't join for that because I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. And so it was not that. It was that community that I was really needing. And I had people that believed in me when I hit that bronze. And then I was like, okay, let's keep on going. I have a shout out to my mentors, Stephanie Cloutier and Lindsay Mohill. They are especially Lindsay, those that know her, that she's like, we got this. Come with me. I'm gonna run with you. And I was like, okay, where are we running? She's like, just follow me. We got this. So I hit silver in no time. And I was like, oh, this is fun, but I'm liking gold. Gold is my color that I'm enjoying right now. So when I hit gold, I was like, wow, all these people believe in me. And that's when it really kind of hit me. And then, honestly, it wasn't until I went to the Super Saturday in Oxon Hill and I met you, Mr. Bradley, in Orlando. And that's when the light bulb moment was like, wait a minute, this is where I belong. The fact that, and I know people say this, Mr. Bradley, but the fact that you gave me attention and you were so intent on listening to me was something that a lot of people don't get from their jobs. I was in a healthcare facility or in a home care company. There was only 32 of us. My manager didn't even know my name. And there's only 32 of us. Now that's a problem. You want me to work, you want me to listen to, go on call and see patients, but you don't know my name. I was a number, and we are more than numbers. And that is where I was hooked. And of course, you'll see me at all the events. Knew I was in Augusta. So I'm like, go on my app. Where do I need to be? And I needed that. I needed that meeting. They say sometimes you need the meeting, sometimes the meetings need you. I needed that. There was some personal things going on, and I needed that meeting. So yeah, I show up, and I show up because we have leaders that show up. I can promise you that Lindsay's on this call. I can promise you that Stephanie's on this call. I can promise you that a lot of my team is on this call because we show up, because you're here, So that's a side story of Carly.
We show up. Writing. Let me write. The community that's needed, and everybody can relate to that. So now that you are a one-star director, you've got your community, right? And a level of fulfillment started to set in. What's your why now? What's driving you now?
Ooh, my why is so big. My why is so and I think kind of like you, is so when I want to go on a vacation, I can call any one of my friends and they can join me because they are financially in a position where they can, and they don't have to ask for time off of work. They don't have to worry about putting in and possibly getting the approval. I have a lot of healthcare workers, teachers on my team, and retired military. And, some of them are on furlough right now. And the fact that having that freedom to pick and choose when you want to go, where you want to go, and how you want to get there is something that I want everybody to experience, because it's something that you don't know until you're there. you don't know how it truly feels until you can say, hey, do you want to go to Dubai next week? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Away you go. You're on the flight, I am blessed, so which is why I am able to travel all over and pick up the phone, and some of my team are the same way. And sometimes you'll see people do things, and we call it till you make it. If you want something, just do it. God's got a plan, and you'll figure it out along the way.
Know until you know. Mr. Dwayne Vance.
Yes, sir. So one of the things I know we like to do is highlight, how did we select Carly? What she achieved, one-star director in 2 short months. On average, that's 8 months. And as she already said, she just joined this year, January 3rd, 2025. She has a stellar 82% rep to ITA ratio and is already nearly halfway on her way to a 2-star directorship. So it's a really easy selection to select Carly.
And Dwayne, I know you have a
Thank you.
Something before I hold up the line here.
Yeah. So one of the questions that it just, as you were talking and you said for 4 months, it was just, you just couldn't imagine yourself getting into direct sales again. And you touched on it a little bit, but just what's the difference? You've done this before. You just were, what's the difference here?
A couple things. One, it's not hard to sell travel. It's really not. Everybody's already doing it. You're not trying to convince someone to try a supplement that they could go to GNC or someplace and get. You're not trying to convince someone to try a new beauty line that they're already doing. They're already doing it. They're already booking hotels and cruises and resorts and flights. They're already doing it. So why not make some money with it? And a lot of people, especially where I'm from, the retired military, they need that extra, that 1099. And that's huge. And I'll tell you what, when my husband was getting ready to retire, he had an amazing community and they told him the number one thing that they told him is start your own business. Start your own business. Because if you do not start your own business, unfortunately, your retirement will not be what you think it's going to be. And a lot of our military do not understand that.
Yeah, I hear that.
So right now, we're at a military softball tournament.
If you're retired,
you're going to see some numbers jumping up
start
by the end of the weekend because we have a lot of people getting ready to retire, and they're like, wow, you're right. You need to start a business, because that first year that you retire and you've been in the military, you don't know what paying taxes is until you are out. And it's like, this is what the general public have to do. Wow, And a lot of people that are not in the military, they do not understand the impact of that. So starting a business, and we did start a business during COVID. And let me tell you, it was more than $200. And we didn't start 2 businesses. That was for 1 business. By the time we had to start, it was all the stuff that went into it. So the fact that you can get 2 businesses for $200 is just mind-blowing. And not only that, you're not starting from ground zero. You have people that have been doing this for 10 years who have shown you how to be successful in it. All you got to do is, and not only that, they're not charging you extra to give you the blueprints. You don't have to pay any extra for that. They're giving you the exact step by step. This isn't like having a child and there's no book on how to be the perfect parent. No, there's a book with Plannet on how to have the best business. And it's right here. You have Mr. Bradley, you have, Orlando, you have JP, you have, Dwayne, there's so many people. Just follow the book that they're giving you and you'll be successful. You don't have to think about it, And so that's all my nuggets. And I love this. And So that was the one about how is it much easier to the support. There's no competition. You know, when I was doing other things, I felt like we were always competing because you had to make that quota by the end of the month to keep your rank. Here, as long as you're still showing up and doing your stuff, you don't have to sell so much travel, you know, so it's much easier.
Miss Carly Westmoreland, such a pleasure. And every time I see you, your energy is infectious. And I love that you love this. And, you know, congratulations on all your success. And thank you so much for sharing today so transparently.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. Thank you. And
Thanks a lot, Carly. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you. If you just joined us here on the Director Spotlight, powerful stories, people just like you overcoming incredible obstacles, having an amazing impact. Next up, we have one-star director from Augusta, Georgia, Lonnie Bynes. Lonnie, we're glad to have you on today's Director Spotlight.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Lonnie Bynes. As you listen to Miss Carly Westmoreland, what was going through your mind?
Her story is amazing. I met her on Thursday at the meeting, at our Augusta meeting.
Wow. So for you, how does it feel for you to be a director here at Plannet Marketing?
It feels amazing. I'm so excited for becoming a leader here at Plannet Marketing, paving the way for my my business partners. This is something I've never done before. Very first time being in network marketing, never heard of it. So I'm super excited about being a director here at Plannet Marketing.
Ms. Lonnie Bynes, I had a privilege of watching you grow up in the business over the last, year or so. But for those who don't know you, how would you describe yourself? Who is Lonnie Bynes?
I am Lanisha Bonds from Augusta, Georgia. I am a mother of two. I am a certified medical assistant. I currently work as a chronic care health coach. I'm my mother's only child. I was raised by my mother and grandmother, the oldest of three from my dad. I'm the one in my family. Mr. Bradley, you always say, are you the one? I'm that one. I'm the glue to my family. I'm gonna always show up for my family. I'm a loving person. I love helping people. And I'm just excited about what I'm doing as a director in this company and now a business owner.
Before I pass it over to Mr. Vansel, what's your why? What's driving you? What drove you to directorship?
My my children. My children has always been there with me. They've always been there with me, every level, from apartments to owning a home, from having a job, working weekends or nights, becoming a student and having a career. And now I'm currently working full-time virtually at home and now a business owner. So my children has always been there. My mother and my grandmother has always been there. My family has supported me. So they are my why. My daughter her father was absent. So I always had to show up double for her. So with this business opportunity, I just have to do it for my children. I have to always be there. I have to always have their backs. I've never there's never been a no for my children. They know I show up. Everything I say I'm going to do it. And it's just exciting that I know I'm going to do more.
Mr. Vansel.
Show up. It's interesting you say that, because the thing that's burning on my mind, and one of the things that people don't get to see, I can see your numbers. You hit directorship in 6 short months. On average, that's 8 months. Great rep to ITA ratio at 77%. But I happen to know that you show up weekly for the Atlanta meeting, driving from Augusta. And for folks that don't know the lay of the land, that's well over a 2-hour commute. And you do that on a weekly basis, showing up. And so with all that as a setup, I want to ask the question, trials, tribulations, they say that those testings, produce endurance. What are some of the testings? What are some of the trials that you have overcome and that could be impactful for the folks watching today?
Showing up. Sometimes there were times my children I had a game, but my dad stepped in, but I knew I had to be there. Mr. Bradley, the last Tuesday of 2024, we had a meeting and you said, how are you showing up in 2025? And I had to figure that out. I was reading one of the personal development books. I can't remember at the time what we were reading, but I knew I had to show up and I was trying to figure it out. You were saying January 7th, how are you coming to the Omni? And something clicked to me in the Goal Builders and Above meeting. And I said, I have to get some people out of Augusta to Atlanta. And that's what I did. And that changed for my business. You said we will make the most money in the first quarter of the year. And that's what happened for me.
Wow. Wow. As I listen to you and I listen to Miss Westmoreland, I'm reminded of individuals finding their purpose and finding their tribe. And not only are you showing up in Atlanta, in convention, in 10-year anniversary, but you're showing up with your tribe. Talk to me about, people finding your purpose and finding your tribe.
I had to start showing up. I had to continue to show up. My director, Charlene Thomas, she took me everywhere. I went from my first event was boot camp in 2023 with Eric Thomas. I was watching Eric Thomas on YouTube, never seen him in person, never thought I would ever see him in person. Um, she took me to Charlotte. We went to Columbia. We went to Dallas. We went to Houston. We were everywhere. And that's all I knew how to do for my people. I can't teach them online. So I knew I had to take them to an event. You started seeing me in Atlanta from the Omni to the Century Boulevard, and you were saying that you're a professional inviter. That's all I knew how to be. I didn't know anything about network marketing. I couldn't explain the business, but I knew if I got them in a room, they were going to explain it for them. And that's what started attracting people to me.
Wow. I wrote the quote, "She took me everywhere." In order to be a good leader, you must first be a good follower. And so you're merely duplicating, what was done for you. So tell me, now that you are a 1 star, right? Breathe.
Mhm.
So Miss Lonnie Bynes, what's next?
I'm ready to hit the next level. I'm not going to stay at 1 star, definitely not 2. I'm ready to create some directors. I want everybody in my organization who wants it to have a legacy for their family and beyond. I want to be a high paid director. I want to earn multiple 6 figures. I want to be a millionaire, multimillionaire. I know it's possible. I see so many women here in the US, millennials that are doing it. They are already paved the way. I know that it's possible for me, and I know that I can do it.
Mr. Vansel?
I love it. I love it. When he asked that question, Lonnie, you leaned in. You just leaned into it, and I love that. And I hope everybody out there can absolutely feel that. What is it that you love? I mean, you love about the planet.
I love everything about Plannet. I wake up, sometimes I sleep, I doze off and I have ideas. I sleep with my notepad and I have 2 laptops in my bed. I work from home. So I love the community. I love my leaders. I love so many people. I've learned so much from everybody in this opportunity. Just showing up, watching people, just watching them grow. When I started seeing some millennial moms or some people that were making 6 figures and still working full time when I started, now they're making $500,000. And I can remember those names. I just can remember people standing up. I didn't understand the business, but I understood when I saw people standing up, telling their stories at that event,
The
stating
moral of
that
the story is you got to
I didn't know
show
what
up,
ringwear was
but you
at
got
my
to get
first
started
event,
first.
but I'm like, wait a minute. If this can happen for them, I know it can happen for me. I work hard. And if this all I got to do is talk to people, it was going to be a piece of cake for me. And this is just the beginning.
In closing, Ms. Bynes, there are some individuals out there. There's over 1,700 people on here watching right now. What advice would you give? Anything from your heart? What advice would you give those individuals who would love to be a director one day in our company?
I would say stay consistent. I always stay consistent. I never quit from the beginning. And show up. Show up, and the power is in the follow up.
Love it, love it, love it. Miss Lonnie Bonds, congratulations. And thank you so much for sharing today. Look forward to seeing you many more times.
Thank you so much.
on
You
the spot.
will. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lonnie, and thank you for being on today's Director Spotlight. Powerful stories, people just like you overcoming incredible obstacles. Now, next up, we have two-star director Andrea Kane from Ireland.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Thanks for
We
being on
got
today's Director
Ireland in the
Spotlight.
Thank you
building.
so
Here
much
we
for
go.
having
Here
me.
we go.
Very surreal.
Ms. Andrea Kane, how's it feel to be a two-star director now in our company?
Nothing short of absolutely incredible, but more so being the second two-star director in Ireland. You know, it's not just, and again, it's not just the title, it's actually having the proof that I have created vision for others and others are following. And I think for me, you know, to realize that this is just our stepping stone of what's to come, it's massive, huge.
We got to highlight that Ms. Andrea Kane is the second director in the country, Ireland, to hit two-star, which is a tremendous feat. Tell me, Ms. Andrea Kane, I have to ask you, as you listen to Ms. Carly Westmoreland and Ms. Lonnie Bynes before you got on, what was going through your mind when you heard those young ladies?
Honestly, just the empowerment of these women, just what has, you know, what they have managed to create for themselves. You know, it's again, you know, something that I suppose when I was brought up, I was very much, you get married, you get looked after, you know, and that's, you have a lovely little life, you get to go shopping and get your nails done and so forth. And, you know, and my husband, he does have a good job and, you know, we are comfortable, you know, but at the same time, it was never enough for me, never enough for me. And I realized that I used to walk around in circles in that kitchen, cooking the boys dinner and, you know, picking them up from school. My brain just needed to be stretched and I needed more from life. And I also have been hit with challenges in life that have, the rug has been taken from underneath us. And one minute you have everything and the next you have none. So I needed to create something for me. And when I listen to those ladies, they are creating something for themselves. And that's just really what I want to give back to everybody else that joins me.
And now you started a little bit about yourself, Andrea Kane. Who is two-star director Andrea Kane?
I am a mum of three very busy, crazy boys, nothing short of that. I think actually they probably set me up for leadership because I have to do that with them every single day. I actually came out of school, and I mean, I say this as this was a very long time ago, but I left university with a psychology degree. But the reason I bring that up is because I never realized how important that would be until I came into the business of network marketing. Okay, I'd never known network marketing before. I didn't know what it was, but people psychology is everything in this game. You know, understanding people's motivation, their behavior, their vision, their goals, and, you know, just trying to, I suppose, for me to be able to play such a huge role in that and helping other people grow. I also myself am a very emotional person, sometimes to a detriment, but also I have a passion that I cannot explain for. If I love something, it's 110%. And, you know, my parents, actually, my mum described to me when I told her about this, they don't understand, I don't think, what I do. I don't think that they have a clue what I do, but they are my biggest advocates and text me before this call, you know, to say, good luck, you're amazing. But mum said to me, do you know, you are a dog with a bone, Andrea. I know whatever you have to do, you're going to do. And that's my personality, is that I give 110% to everything. Whilst I can admit being a bit impatient, and it's not always a bad thing, impatient creates drive, I think. It's because failure isn't an option for me in anything, whether I was playing a netball match or whether I was, you know, whatever it might be. Back in school, I always knew that I had to do things at 110% because I couldn't fail. I wouldn't allow myself to fail.
Mr. Wayne Vance, I'm going to pass it to you, but I wrote down something based on what Ms. Kane just said. Impatience creates a sense of urgency. Now I'll pass it to you, Mr. Vance.
No, I wrote the exact same statement down. It's not ironic at all, but um, anyway, thank you so much for sharing. You know what? So, highly educated, mom of three, wife. What is it that you saw in Planet that said you said this is it? This is it. Why Planet?
Well, I don't know if this is a question you're going to ask me anyway, but actually, at the beginning, as I said, I had no clue what this was all about. I didn't join for network marketing purposes. In fact, it was 3 years ago that I joined, and I joined for that said word of travel. So it wasn't until I pushed myself to have to try and educate myself in this. And by that, I mean my upline, Claire Spinlow, who is a massive support to me. She was once, she was actually attending the Eagle Weekend this time last year. And she turned around to me, and I think it was a few days before, she turned around to the team and said, "Who's coming with me?" And I thought, a few days before, anyone that knows me knows I pack 6 to 8 weeks in advance for anything. So that was never going to happen. And she said to me, "No, I think you should come with me." I said, "To Eagle Weekend, and we laugh now because I called myself a seagull. There was no place for me to be at Eagle Weekend until I arrived. And until actually I booked my flights 2 days before, again, completely out of character. So I obviously did see something that needed me to go there. 2 days before I booked my flights, I made the decision to be there. I attended the event, and which was the most empowering and honestly mind-blowing. I heard from people that I don't get to hear from all the time. I'm lucky enough to be in Rachel Algi's team as well. So, we are mentored by the best. But I turned up, I heard from the likes of Natalie Graham. She blew my mind. If she could achieve what she can achieve after her struggles, then I can. And really that's what I then started to filter down. And from May, if you see my numbers, that's when I actually started to work the business. And that's when I realized really what this could be. And now I just bring that back to my team. There was a lady in my team that actually, she, she had trust in me. And only 3 months into the business, turned around to her and I said, "You need to go to Orlando. You need to go to convention." 3 months into the business, she booked her ticket and she went. And it was she'd say to you, I have no doubt she's going to be on this screen one day. And she said it was the best thing you could ever ask me to do, but it's because she trusted me, and that's massive in, my business.
Miss Andrea Kane, how has your why changed from the time you joined the business until now? How's your why changed?
Yeah, it's become a lot deeper because I can see what can be achieved. And I think by attending those events and there's not a training call you won't see me on. There's not, even if it's other directors talking of their journey, you will not, I will be there. There's no question, you don't need to ask. But I think it's realizing what others can achieve. It's seeing others in the team, others in the company, and what they have managed to create for themselves. And, it's seeing that there is options out there. And so my why has changed because I can now project that onto my team and just, help them to create the vision and show them that there are other options. They don't have to stay stuck because I've seen that it works, and I'm only in the business a year and a half. And I say a year and a half because those stories, most of them are created 4 or 5 years down the line. But I can see that now. So at least if I can lend that to them, then they can then have something for themselves, going forward, and to help them to create small hours. We've had that already happen in my team.
I'm gonna pass it to you, Mr. Vansel, but before I do, Ms. Kane, I'm just curious, do you see yourself becoming one of the company's millionaires?
Yeah, it's not even a question you need to ask me. Yeah.
Awesome. I thought so. Mr. Vansel.
So leaders are learners. What is it that you're sinking your teeth into right now in that learning cycle?
Actually, I'm reading a book by James Clear, Atomic Habits. And I know once I can't, well, if I read the first few pages and I can't put it down, it's a good book, right? But he actually made a statement. Well, there was one line in that book that said, mastery requires patience. And I realized that every day I just needed to help people and help myself to become that 1% better, just 1% every single day. You know, they compound over time, and that's what creates a success. So if you can promise yourself, and I can promise myself, that those daily habits, you know, just changed whatever it might be, you know, showing up for yourself, that 1%, or, you know, talking to another person, you know, that day, 1% better will only ever, I mean, it's not a once in a lifetime transformation, this. So you have to put in the work. And there has been people that have come into my business that have said, oh, I don't see it yet. And I think to myself, you've been here 2 months. You don't see it yet. You've got a lot more where that came from, because it's not an overnight transformation. And, you know, your outcomes are usually, I believe, a lagging measure of your habits. And that's why I love that book. Yeah, I think everyone needs to read it.
In closing, Ms. Andrea Kane, there's over 1,800 people witnessing this spotlight right now. You are one of the pioneers of the movement in Ireland, second two-star director in Ireland. What would you share with those listeners who are on the Zoom this morning that may not have all the weekly meetings and all the, you know, support that they feel like they may need? They might be off the beaten path, and you're pretty much off the beaten path, you know, in a country that you ladies had to pioneer. What advice would you give those listeners this morning?
Do you know, I think you can create that yourself. You just have to make the choice. And that choice only falls with you. You know, you need to make the decision and make the choice. And then you have outside influences that you can plug into. Look at this call, for example. You know, look at the IMVs we have. You don't need to, there's a lot of people that come into this with no upline, and still manage to create phenomenal things here. So you don't need that. You just have to have the belief. If you don't have the belief, borrow it from somebody else, like on these calls, borrow it from somebody else, or ask somebody. I would have no problem in somebody asking me, you know, why do you believe in this so much? Because you can borrow that, but having that vision for yourself is, I think, what gives you that push to be able to keep going, you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'd say my team are probably really laughing at me right now because I am the biggest perfectionist going. But I realize that I can't be in this business. You know, imperfect action creates momentum. And, you know, and over time, that's what creates your results. So just keep going, borrow that belief from somebody else, plug into whatever it might be, you know. Progress beats perfection every single time, and that's what I have to keep telling myself. I didn't turn up perfect. Nothing is perfect right now, you know. I didn't even know how this call would pan out. So, you know, just keep trying. Listen to those stories and attend those events because they are worth everything.
Well, you've done an incredible job. Definitely inspired many. I've got some notes, and I appreciate your transparency and congratulations. And I know I'll be seeing you on in a couple of weeks.
You definitely will be. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Sebastian.
thanks so much. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you being on the Director Spotlight. Powerful stories. People just like you overcoming incredible. Next up, we have three to have you on today's Director Spotlight.
Oh, thank you. It's so exciting to be here. Thank you for having me.
Miss, I'm going to pronounce this absolutely correctly. Qureshi?
Correct. Qureshi, yeah. You did well, Mr. Bradley.
Awesome. How's it feel to be a 3-star director in our company right now?
Oh gosh, amazing. I think, do you know what? It feels really content because what this means is that I will officially match my corporate income, which I gave up when I accepted redundancy last May, 2024. And so from a personal perspective, obviously I've achieved one of my major milestones, one of my major goals. And And I think it just feels very, very just very at peace because I've done that now. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, this is just the start. But that was like a non-negotiable for me. But I think just more than that, it feels so very gratifying because that's 500 people, well, 600 now, but that's 500 people. It's that's a big thing. So obviously, I've got these hundreds of people who are building alongside me as well, changing their lives, transforming, themselves. And that in itself is really, really special. So yeah, it feels very, very special.
I have to ask you this because this is Dwayne Vansell and I. This is our favorite thing to do, Spotlight. And you listen to Miss Kane, you listen to Miss Bynes, you listen to Miss Westmoreland. What were you going through your mind when you listen to those amazing young ladies?
Oh, just, absolutely inspiring. I think there's so much misconception when it comes to network marketing. And I know when I started this, I was, you know, I wanted to break some of those misconceptions, and I feel like I've done that in my own right. But just, this business is so equitable. Everybody starts on a level playing field. And if you listen to these stories, I think what was running through my head was we've all had really different situations, different upbringings, but we've all achieved what we've set out to achieve is because we've got the tools, we've got the blueprint. Everybody starts at the same level and they can achieve you can literally achieve what you want to achieve from this business. And this call, the ladies that have been on this call, they are a classic example of that. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
There's over 1,800 people viewing this right now.
Yeah.
Who is three-star director Tabussum Qureshi? Who are you?
So I'm a mum of two from the UK. I'm married. I've been married to my husband for 11 years. We have two children, 10 and 7. I homeschool. My son is also mildly neurodiverse as well. So it was really important to me to be able to have that kind of be able to give him the education that he needs. I worked in corporate for 15 years. I was burnt out. I took voluntary redundancy last year in May. And I started a product-based business as soon as I did that. And then a month later, I actually started travel network marketing as well, in July of 2024. And that's when I really saw the vision. And, I do this alongside homeschooling. I do this alongside running my other business. I love travel. I love reading. I love helping people. I love philanthropy. And I get to do all of those things now. So that's who I am. That's who Tabs Qureshi is.
Awesome. Mr. Dwayne Vansell.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. And I just want to give you a shout out again.
Yeah.
4 months to achieve 3-star from 2-star. On average, that's 13 months. And you have a stellar. I mean, you just can't get any better. You have 100% rep to ITA ratio.
Mhm.
And as of yesterday, 605 towards 4-star. So you're already crushing it. And so
Yeah.
and Andre had said it just in the last about James Clear, and it's something that he talks about is our goals are something that you want to achieve. Systems are the process to get there. Bronze, silver, gold, all the way up to 3-star. And I know that you have your sights well beyond that. Could you talk about that for just a moment? Those goals and the systems that you put in place to manage everything that you just mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, do you know what? I think it's so I
going
have
up everywhere.
raging ADHD as well. So for me, life is just very chaotic. I have, I operate in a very organized, chaotic manner. But for me, I think what really helps me is time boxing. I bookend my day quite a lot. So obviously when I get up, I'm quite a spiritual person as well. So that just helps me get into the right mindset for whatever chaos is coming my way. And so I start my day with spirituality, praying, a bit of reading. And then I check in with my team before my kids are up and about. So I just, catch up on any messages that I may have missed from the night before, any kind of business inquiries, anyone who might be interested in finding out more information. So first hour is really spent on that. Then I spend the morning homeschooling, that's my day. And then, so whilst, my son is kind of playing and having his lunch, I check back in with my team. I might do some calls. I do my daily DMOs, non-negotiable. Even as a 3-star director, I'm with my team doing my DMOs. You know, that's something that I've done consistently since I started last July. And then the afternoons, early evenings, again, family time. And then the evenings, back plugging into my business, checking in with my team, doing my business activities, my calls, the trainings, all of that kind of stuff. And really, I think for me, it's just about, it's really important for me to plug into my team whilst building my business as well, is because I think, you know, setting them up for success from the start is what's going to empower them to run their own businesses. It's what's going to, you know, really help them, you know, not be so dependent on their uplines, actually build a business, right? So you've got to onboard them properly. And that's what I spend, like I spend, you know, whether it's in the morning or whether it's in the evening, I'll onboard my new team members. And then they then, you know, once they've learned and they've understood the process, they're just duplicating what I'm doing. Because duplication isn't just about numbers, it's about actions, it's about leadership. You duplicate all of that. So yeah, it's just about setting them up for success. And I think that's the vision that I had when I started this, because, you know, network marketing has been around for a very long time, and network marketing people have been very successful from it for a very long time. So I thought to myself,
The
I'm
key
not the
thing
only
that she's
person who's going
saying
to see this
is
vision.
duplication
If I talk about what I
must
see, I'm going to attract the right people, and that's exactly what we
definitely have to duplicate.
What is your why now, and how has it changed since you started this business?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Do you know when everyone says like your why changes, it is so true. My why actually, so my why was actually rooted, like if we're going back to what my why was, it was actually rooted in like a sad story. So there was a massive life event that happened in my final year of university, and it completely changed the trajectory of my family's future. And you know, we ended up losing a lot. Like we lost a lot. Sorry, excuse me. But that just made me work harder, and it just made me realize that, you know, like this doesn't have to be it. Like there's, you know, I can have the same opportunities that everybody else does. So I worked hard. I wanted to, you know, you know, kind of landed a dream job in my dream company, did really well from that, and a really nice income from it. And you know, did really well. And I just wanted to build something for my children. And you know, I did that, but obviously that came with a cost, right? Because I didn't have the time freedom. It was taking time away from my family, you know, taking time away from my kiddos and all of that kind of stuff, especially with my son, some of his neurodiversities were just coming to the surface at that point as well. So I knew I needed to build something. So I took a leap of faith last year. I decided I'm going to accept this voluntary redundancy package. I didn't really plan to really get into network marketing at the time. But you know, I just took a leap of faith, and then it just kind of took off. And you know, so my why was definitely like my children, and obviously I've achieved that. I wanted the generational income. I wanted the, like, you know, being able to pass something down to them. But along the way, I've seen people in my downline transform, like change their lives. I've got 2 directors, 4 director in trainings. I've got a plethora of gold, silver, and bronze builders. And just seeing, because it's not just about the monetary changes, it's the personal, it's the transformation, it's about getting themselves out of certain situations, it's about having extra to have freedom, to, you know, like live out their dreams and visit the places that they've always wanted to. And you know, people have some really strong whys in my team as well. So it's all about impact now. That's my why, because like with these 605 people, I've seen so many journeys, and I've seen people transform. And you know, there's so many more people that we can help. And I just want people to know that you don't have to accept the situation that you're in. Like there's so much more than that out there for every single one of us, and we can all just like design that dream life. And it's very, very possible. You just have to be coachable and open your mind and plug in, and then we can teach you how to do it.
You know, Miss Qureshi, and I want to, you know, I know we're going to be you're going to be on stages around the world, so I want to get this right, Mr. Vance. So I know we could call it, I want to get this name right, because I'm going to be the one introducing Miss Qureshi around the world. You don't mind that, correct, Miss Qureshi?
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get that right. So tell me, events. You hear a lot of people say
yeah.
talk to me a little bit about that and what role it's played in your development.
So I have tried to go to every single event since I joined this business. I think there was maybe one that I missed. Events are so transformational because, like, I think sometimes when we start a business, we think like, is this going to work? Like, okay, I know I can make it work, but is my team going to make it work? Like, is it going to work for them? Like, does this actually work? The biggest belief check that you can get is at an event, because there you're seeing people like who are no different. Like, you walk into the room and there's people from, it doesn't matter, like, what your background is, how old you are, how young you are, in that room, walking, feel like a life of freedom for themselves and their families, right? You see people who are gold builders at a previous event, now they're one-star director. You see a two-star director at a previous event who's now collecting their sapphire ring. That is really impactful, because you see it in real time. And I think that energy in that room is so contagious. Like, I have taken my team along with me who were maybe like a bit, kind of, they had their reservations, they may have had their limiting beliefs, they may have had like whatever it was. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take you to my event. I'm going to take you to this event that we've got going. And every single one of them walk away, and you can see the change in their eyes. I watch them and I can see in their eyes, I can see that something is changing. Like, new neural connections are being developed here. Like, it really does change your brain chemistry. And I think there is a reason why so many people rank up after an event. So if, like, one thing I would recommend to everybody watching, if they want to get to gold or 1-star or 2-star, get yourself to an event. Like, there's a reason why we encourage people to get to an event. There's a reason why people rank up after an event. So get yourself to those events, because they will change the way you run your business, for sure.
Well, Ms. Qureshi, thank you so much for sharing. Congratulations on all your success, and actually looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Likewise. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you being on today's Director Spotlights. Powerful stories, people just like you, and creating an amazing impact. Next up, we have 4-star director, Emily Fox. Emily, we are so honored to have you on today's Director Spotlight.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear. Thank you so much, Emily.
Good, lovely to be here. Thank you for having me, first of all.
Thank you. And again, you've heard from Ms. Qureshi, you've heard from Ms. Kane, Ms. Bynes, and Ms. Westmoreland as the senior ranking member on this spotlight. What were your thoughts as you listened to your counterparts?
I'll be really honest, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I hope I can deliver as well as them, because they were amazing, honestly. I've been sitting here a little bit like a nodding Cheshire cat or dog, like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're honestly so inspiring, so amazing. And I think everyone on here should just be tapping into these every single month, because they're amazing. You can just hear all the different stories, hear different golden nuggets from different people. And I think that's what really builds a really good rep in the business.
Ms. Fox, there's less than 30 4-star directors in the entire company. Plannet Marketing Worldwide, tell me a little bit about who you are and your journey to 4-star.
It feels really surreal, to be honest. It feels amazing, but it's been a journey. So I've actually been in the business 6 years. So I haven't had like the quickest journey, but I think you go on a massive personal development journey as well in this business, and the income comes with it, which is obviously great. But the one thing I would say to anyone as well on here, just on your personal development journey, just know that everyone's is different. And, you could probably compare me to other people that started at the same time, and they might be further along, they might not. But just know that your journey is your journey. And I think that's something that I learned quite early on. And I think that really helped me to develop a little bit more. But going back to your original question, sorry, I go off quite a lot in tangents. So I am obviously UK based. I come from the corporate world. So I used to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Overworked, underpaid, the usual corporate life. And honestly, I used to sit at the desk every day and stare at the same tree and honestly think, this can't be my life. There has to be more than this. I absolutely hated it, but I didn't go to university. I didn't have a university degree. I was very stuck. I was told in my corporate job, I was putting in for pay rise, and I kept getting declined, even though I was the last person in the office, shutting the office every single night. But I was told multiple times that no, you can't earn any more money because you don't have a university degree. You have to go and spend thousands on this qualification if you even want to try and get one. So I was completely stuck because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what my skill set was. I hated the job, and it was just to pay the bills. But I also knew that, okay, I can't even buy a house on this income. So what am I going to do? And then this opportunity fell on my lap through a friend of a friend of a friend. So that's another thing that I would say to you all, guys. If someone says no to you about this business, tell them to tell their friends or think about their network, because that's how I was introduced to the business, through my best friend who had been introduced to it by her mum, and her mum's friend had said to her about it. That's how it went down the line, you know. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in. And then I just worked it in pockets of time around my job. You know, the big thing for me was the flexibility of it, and the fact that I could just work it in pockets of time. I had a very busy corporate job. It was events. So if I had an event on, it was, you know, full on. So I think that was a big part of it for me. And then the personal development just came alongside it, which I never expected or knew. I honestly just thought I was coming in to book some fun holidays. And then I think I listened to a call similar to this, and I was like, hang on, it was Lucy Welch, actually. I remember it so clearly. She was on a Zoom call, she was on a beach. She was, I think, like 22 at the time or something crazy. I didn't know her because she's not my upline or anything. And she was on a beach living her best life. And she was like, I was a full-time bartender before this. I thought, hold up, I'm doing something wrong here. I need to treat this like a business, and it's going to pay me like a business. And then that's what it did. Worked in pockets of time. I am a TV addict, so I just switched my habits out. I looked at what I was doing, and I was spending far too much time watching telly. One summer, I just didn't watch Love Island. For those of you that are in the UK, you probably know what Love Island is. I don't know if you have it in America. But I didn't watch Love Island for a whole summer, and that's when I really, really built the business, matched my full-time salary, and then was able to quit the job. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey. It's a hard one, it's, you know, but it's incredible. And even speaking on here today is pushing me out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to lie, but I live by the rule that if you feel uncomfortable, or if you're pushed out of your comfort zone, only three things are going to happen. You're going to grow your mindset, your confidence, or your bank balance. One of them or all three. And I tell myself that. I'm learning horse riding as well, guys. And I had to do cantering the other day, and I was absolutely crapping it. I was so scared. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. No, 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 no. I said to the teacher, and then I said, no, live by the rules. You've got to do this. You're going to be fine. And I did it. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I try and adopt that through my business and through my life, but that's really something that I've learned through this as well. Sorry, I told you I like to go off in all different tangents.
That was so good. That was so good, Miss Emily Fox. I mean, I enjoyed that. You're going to grow your mindset, your confidence, or your bank balance.
Yeah.
Wow, love it.
I live by it.
I love it. You said something. You said you didn't do it quickly, but I'm going to remind you that there's less than 50 people who have ever done it. So what's quickly? And I'm going to pass it to Mr. Vansel because I know he's going to comment on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we as he said, you know, there's so few 4-stars. So you achieving that on September the 24th of this year, obviously that stands out in and of itself. But you did it in 20 months, and on average, again, it's 36 months. So yeah, please applaud yourself, not on just achieving it, but achieving it in record time as well. And I look back, I couldn't help myself. I had to look back, and you achieved 1 star in just 4 months, and on average, that's 8 months. So you were rocking and rolling. I know it felt like that C was a big one, but you did a really great job. You know, one of the questions I would love to ask is we were talking, and you just talk about the personal development. You mentioned it a couple of different times. Talk about the impact. You know, it's obviously been an impact to your bank account, Plannet Marketing has, but talk about the impact in your personal development journey.
I'm a completely different person. I think before this business, I would have seen failures as failures, but now I don't even believe in that word. Whenever there's some kind of fail, it's a lesson, and I learn a massive thing that I think will really change anyone's business, is knowing that a failure isn't a failure, it's a lesson, and you just have to review it, learn from it, and try again and take that messy action. And I think that's something I learned quite early on, to just take that messy action, plan, do, and review. Review what's working, review what's not working, and read books. Before this, I would probably have never read a book, I won't lie, podcasts, all of that. I was like, I was your typical, what was I, 27, 26, 27, going out drinking every weekend. And I just thought, you got to change your life a little bit. And you just have these light bulb moments from tapping into books, mindset, and you just realize that this is the journey you're supposed to be on. And it's a journey that is still ongoing for me as well. So I think a thing with personal development really to know is that it never stops. You're always learning, you're always upskilling, and what they say, never be the brightest person in the room. Once you get to that point, you need to get into the rooms where you are the smallest person in the room, So I think that's really kind of like the next step for my personal development, and then really just helping my team to understand that mindset, I think, is 80% of this business. If you have the right mindset, you believe that you can do it. I think a big thing is learning that rejection that we all know and will feel through this is normal. I don't think it's spoken about enough, that it is so normal. And don't see it as you're failing, see it as, okay, how can I review this? What have I done? Could I done anything different? Is that person just not my person? And to know that that's okay as well, that this isn't for everyone. This is a big thing that I had to learn as well. At the beginning, I couldn't understand, but why don't you want to do this? This is amazing. I can't understand why. But then I realized that not everyone in this world is extraordinary like us. We are the extraordinary people that join this. We want more out of life. We know we deserve more, and we are prepared to work for it. But if every single person on this world was extraordinary, the world wouldn't go round. There has to be us extraordinary people, and we just have to go out and find those other extraordinary people that are out there. So yeah, it's a massive personal development journey. I am still on it. Reading books, I think, is amazing. Podcasts, and just knowing that everything's a lesson. Learn from it and move forward.
New question: are you extraordinary? I'm going to start asking people.
Oh yeah,
Are you extraordinary?
absolutely.
Events, Miss Emily Fox. Talk to me about events.
Events. I love events. I'm actually at one of my team's travel parties right now. I'm upstairs, they're downstairs. We did a little presentation before, and we had one yesterday as well. They're obviously just like my personal team's little travel party events, but the big events as well. Get yourselves in the room. Convention, I always say, convention changes everything. And I think it was Tabs that just said it before, the rank ups after convention. I think she might be on here, Claire, who's been with me for a few years now. She dips in, she dips out. She came to her first convention this year, and she's come back a complete different rep. She's just hit gold. She's not stopping. She's doing all the things that she needs to be doing. So huge well done to you, Claire. But I've seen such a difference in a lot of my reps that come to the events. And I think something else that with the events as well is when you get your team there, or you're bringing prospects along to the Saturday events as well, it edifies exactly what you've already said. I think, and that's a really, really key big part. A lot of people that come to the events, they're like, oh, okay, so you've heard it from me. You might have been on a three-way as well. You might have heard it on an opportunity Zoom, but actually I'm in the room and now I'm hearing it from hundreds of people that are around me as well. This has to be real, and it really edifies what you need. And it does the exact same for the reps that are coming to convention. I think it was Tabs that said it as well. Convention is amazing because you see all walks of life, every age, every nationality, and it is just so inspiring. And I think you just get up there and you'll have that moment like I had when I watched Lucy's video, and you're like, if she can do this, I can do this, A
little voice just told me that she's about to go to 5-star. I don't know if Dwayne heard that little voice, but I can hear that little voice. And she's probably not going to stop there. So congratulations, Miss Emily Fox. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. And thank you so much for sharing so transparently. And congratulations again on all your success.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Definitely. Boy, what a joy.
Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley.
This is our favorite. For so for so many different reasons. One, I get to take notes, and be inspired, by the individuals who are extraordinary. I mean, she said it, and I'm so appreciative to all these ladies who took the time today to share with the planet. And I'll let you close us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. I want to thank everybody that's watched today. I want to thank the ladies who were on with us today, where Carly said, you absolutely just have to show up. And what I love what Lonnie said is get people out. She was talking about getting people out of Augusta, but taking people with you. So get people out, take them with you wherever you go. And I love what Andrea said when she said, if you're going to create it, it's up to you. She's not like leaving excuses on being in Ireland, but it's up to you. And patience creates drive. I absolutely love that. Tab's just knocking it out of the park today, and everything that she had to say. And then right there with wrapping up with Emily, absolutely a stellar thing. So thank you, Mr. Bradley, and thank you everybody for tuning in for today's Director Spotlight. Thank you to our engineer, Dorian Joner, as well. So we'll see you guys on the next Director Spotlight.
And thank you, Mr. Mansell, for all that you do for the planet. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, that was amazing. Look, I am so excited that I was able to share this with my platforms. And this is what we do. This is what we do. We take people to their next level. You hear me? We get people to see what's possible for them. And after that, look, if you can't see yourself, being in those positions, these people are setting themselves up to be millionaires. They're getting all these streams of income, 7 to 8 to be exact, and they are leaving and creating legacies for their children, grandchildren, and the generation after them. And that's what is the most exciting part about this whole thing. And if you listen, and if you're watching this on the replay, if you listen, it wasn't so much for the money side of this for a lot of them. It wasn't for the money side, but does the money come with it? Absolutely. And the thing is, what I heard a lot is getting to events. Just imagine you going to an event and coming back and you're stepping into, millionaire status or six-figure status, or whatever status that you were going from into, and as we know, events are important. Even if you are not to physically get there, but if you have an event, get to that event online. And that's another thing is, sometimes, you got to get belly to belly with people. And that brings me to this. It's pretty interesting is that I share a lot on online here, right? I share a lot here online. Look at this hair. I share a lot here online, and people don't comment on anything, but when I'm out in the public, or someone see me, that's like, hey, you know what? You came across my page, and so it's like, what is it that you do? And so they don't never ask me, online, but they ask me offline. And I don't know, what that will be. But the thing is, people are looking, people are watching, people are seeing everything that you do online, but they don't seem to ask you the question online, because sometimes either they think they know, or they too scared to ask the question, or they think they're going to be sold or anything like that. If you ask the question, curiosity kills the cat, but satisfaction brings us back, because when you hear what you hear, you hear it, right? But in any event, like I said, this opportunity, this business, it definitely is an amazing business, and I'm very excited to be a part of it. And like I say, as you witness, if you're watching this on the replay, some are moving fast, some are moving slow, but they are getting there. And the key thing is is the joy of them helping people. And that's the thing, is that we love to help people get to their next level. No matter where you start. I mean, you have CMAs, you have retired militaries, school teachers, busy moms. I mean, that are actually killing it in this business. And they are, like I said, the thing for me is legacy. It is legacy. Outside of all the income that you can make from this opportunity is the legacy that we get to leave to our children, and that they get to continue to have that, for generations to come. And you're not going to find that in any other opportunity. And if you do, it's very, very rare. And with what we have, it is aggressive, because you just saw how aggressively they have moved up through the ranks. Okay. So the thing is, it can happen. And the thing is, another thing is like consistency, outside of the events, but consistency. You have to remain consistent. And then, have a daily method of operation. The one young lady who said that, she checks in on her team. She plugs in. She don't miss an event. She makes sure, hear me, she makes sure that she stays connected to her team. And that's one thing for me is very important, is staying connected and making sure that whatever that you're doing can be duplicated. That's important. Duplication is key, because thing is, you think about it, no one is going to ever get to those ranks without other people, without partnering with other people. You think about your job. That business cannot thrive without you. Just like in any business. And that's what I'm saying, when people get the misconception of, even in the industry that we're in, network marketing, oh, somebody's going to make money off of you. Well, wake up. Somebody's making money off of you already, even though you're working on a job. It's not a business, but it's a job. Somebody's making money off you. Somebody is leveraging you. No matter how you look at it, you're being leveraged. If you're working for a company, you're being leveraged. So why not be in business for yourself and leverage people and help people leverage people and help them grow? Because the thing is, there is no one at the top other than your corporate job or wherever you work. They're the only ones at the top. And you, per se, is building their dream, because without you, their dream cannot happen. So why not build your own dream and find some people who want to build alongside of you, who wants to watch you grow, want to grow themselves, and you help them grow. It's a team effort, no matter how you look at it. On your job, outside your job, it's a team effort in mostly everything that we do if we want it to grow. Because it's not going to grow it's not going to grow. Let me say, it'll grow, but it won't grow massively if you're doing it by yourself. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he says, I would rather have 100% of 100 people, 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. It makes sense. Make it make sense, guys. Look, I know you probably have seen me. I post, and I'm not going to stop posting about, finding my tribe, because my tribe is out there. I'm definitely going to find the tribe who wants to win, who wants to be able to leave a legacy, who wants to generate passive, not just passive, but residual income coming in every single night. We call it sleep money. Okay. And then not only that, who wants to go to the beach? Who wants to be able to go just work at the beach? I mean, these things are happening. It's happening for us. And guess what? Look, you're just one step from being there as well. But you got to tap in. You got to move. Uh, Look, I don't know what more that a person can show you in order for you to see what's possible for you. I mean, but you have to know. You have to know what it is that you want. And the thing is, it may not be millionaire status, but if you get it, what would happen? What would you do? But it may be community for some people, just connecting with other people. That's great. It may just be travel for you. That's great as well. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. And saying thank you for tuning in with me for this whole past hour here on my platforms. And like I said, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for, the opportunity to be able to share what I share with you, our direct spotlight. And if you would like to know more about what it is that I do, go ahead and tap in with me. You can message me. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I have to put it on each one of these platforms, but look, I have, like saying, look, check it out back here. Quiet Queens Academy 7-day freedom flow. So I'm working on this. It's not completely started, but you can actually tap in to find out what it is that we do, and tap into the watch party, because I do have a watch party. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. It is go.quietqueensacademy.com. Go ahead and tap in to go.quietqueensacademy.com and find out what it is that we're doing, how we're doing, and how these individuals are moving through the ranks, how they are, if you heard, they are matching their income, or they have maximized the income that they're working from their corporate job. So the thing is, this is legit. And yes, we have a 1099. Yes, it's 1099. And we do report to the IRS. So let me go ahead and scratch that. Let me go ahead and scratch that belief that you may have. This is a pyramid scheme. Cannot be, because pyramid schemes do not report to the IRS. And guess what? Look, we don't look good in an orange jumpsuit. And mind you, and we are two debt-free companies. So if you want to find out about that, go ahead, tap in at go.quietqueensacademy.com, and I'll let you in. All right. But anyway, thank you again. And do this. Tap in below if you got any kind of takeaway from this. Let me know in the comments, or you could just either send me a message or share this. If you found value, share this with your family, friends, and anyone that you know. It may be you or someone that you may know that is looking for this opportunity, looking for this business, or looking for the possibilities of a way out. So all I'm saying is, tap in. All right. Anyway, that is, give me just a second. That is my cue. I'm gonna get off here. But anyway, y'all, look, y'all tap in. Anyway, y'all have a divine day.